Everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. We have a great time, actually. Can't wait to jump into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. There was even some breaking news, so I'm going to have to jump into that in a second. Steve, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's popping, player? Everything good?
I need another It's Just Comedy t-shirt, bro. Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying?
Just saying.
I got you.
My man Fig is in the building too. What's happening, Fig?
Man, everything's good, but I noticed that me and Talon is drinking the same color juice.
Yeah, and drinking at the same time on TV at the same time. My man Mike Sean is in the building too. Mike Sean, what's happening?
Y'all sponsored and nobody told me? Like nobody.
I didn't even get the.
Hold on, look at me get the generic thermos with nothing. Listen, nothing.
Hilarious.
That's all I got.
Hilarious.
So anyway, this is the show we talk about. Obviously, we talk about sports, man. I'm gonna just mention this because we got a lot of stuff to jump in and talk about. I don't even want to talk about this next topic because we got so much other stuff to talk about. Let me bring up T up here first. So, Juan Soto is heading to the Padres from the Nationals, the largest deal in MLB history. We're going to try to figure out what the actual deal is in a second. I'll probably get back to that in a second. But there was some breaking news that came on 15 minutes before we got in the show. And here's the breaking news. The breaking news is that the Dolphins are losing their first-round draft pick and the tampering probe that they were talking about with Brian Billick and everything. I mean, Brian Flores and stuff was talking about and everything else. They just got caught and got busted. The NFL caught them. The NFL's taking away their 2024 draft pick, the next year's first-round draft pick, and the owner's getting fined $2 million total. And the owner, Stephen Ross, is also suspended up until October 17, 2022. So, Brian Flores was saying a lot of stuff about tampering and stuff. He said it. The NFL eventually caught them. He was saying about the whole Tom Brady situation and about losing games and trying to make me lose games and all that stuff. People are still saying right now the word came out the two are not connected, but an independent investigation caught them and they got busted. So you tell me what you're hearing now. They haven't even dived into everything, but you tell me what's the first reaction that comes across you about how they treated Brian Flores. Because remember now, they got rid of him quick. Even though he lost the first 8 games and he won the last 9. I mean, it just keeps trickling.
Well, first of all, it's connected even though it's not connected. So, you know what I mean? If I'm telling you there's corruption in a place and I'm giving you some of my examples and you find more examples, it just goes under the same umbrella of what I told you. I told you, hey, I'm leaving because this place, I got a lawsuit, this place is corrupt. They discriminating, they doing all these things wrong, they're breaking the laws, rules, and regulations, and you find more. It ain't gotta be specifically what I said. You find more. This is sort of like what we was just talking about Deshaun Watson. Like the one woman come out, and then there's more.
Right.
So these guys are connected without even trying to be connected. It's wrong is wrong. So I think it solidifies and gives his case that much more validity.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Fig, that my man was saying that the owner offered him $100,000 to throw games. Let's not forget that fact. Let's not forget the fact that he said that he got up. Brian Flores said he got up from a conversation and left because he didn't like the way the conversation was going with Tom Brady sitting there, and Sean Payton. And that's the exact meeting that they just got caught tampering with. Same thing Brian Flores said. Talk to me, Fig.
Here's the thing, man. It amazes me how the media keeps treating the general public like we're idiots. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, this ain't connected. So here's the thing. Talent walks his dog, right? His dog does a number 2. Talent doesn't be a good owner and pick it up. So I walk by, not knowing, I step in it, right? So now I'm dragging it off my shoe. I go in the house and it's on my carpet. You can see the footprints on my carpet. My wife comes in the house and said, man, it smells like crap in here. She said, and look at this. It's on your feet. It's on the carpet. I can see it. I was like, oh, those are not connected. The smell has nothing to do with the fact that I got footprints on the car. Hey, there's nothing to see here. Don't worry about that. The smell that you smell has nothing to do with these footprints on the carpet. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't do it. It's like, what am I, stupid? Like, come on, man. Of course they're connected.
My man, the business bully, has joined the show. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I got my glaucoma medicine, Frank. I am ready to bum rush the show. So, I'm excited. I hope you are too.
All right, I'm gonna come to you in a second. Michael Sean, like we said, like I've been saying, tell me what your initial thoughts are with the Dolphins getting caught, because literally the meeting with Tom Brady and Sean Payton was at, that Brian Flores said that he was at also, that he left, is the meeting that they're talking about when the Dolphins got caught red-handed in the cookie jar, that Brian Flores said he got up and left. He did not want to be a part of. And in that same meeting, you know, he was supposed to be also saying that they were offering him $100,000 to throw games so they could get Sean Payton and get Tom Brady. What's your thoughts on this, Mike?
My thoughts, and because I know you're going to have this story, so I'm not trying to spoil the story that you're going to have later on. My thoughts is this is why Roger Goodell is being so forceful on trying getting Deshaun Watson a longer suspension, because he wants the attention on Deshaun Watson. He doesn't want the attention on Tom Brady. He doesn't want the attention on his golden child. So it's like, let's get this over here. Like, I want everybody to see what a responsible commissioner I am, and pushing to get Deshaun Watson a longer suspension for what he did. But it really is just a 52 fake out. It's the card Molly. Just don't look over here. Look over here. Look over to the person that ain't as important as the person over here. So it's something that goes on all the time. And Fig made a good point, but I want to push back on Fig, but not in a debate reason. He said, they act like the public is stupid. We are stupid. We fall for it. Not all of us, but we are stupid. We fall for the 52 fake out, and we look at Deshaun Watson, but Tom Brady is as slimy as everybody else. And I'm not mad because the whole NFL is slimy. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and the business bully.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on how you look at right now Brian Flores? Because I mean, I know you heard how we were talking about this right now. How do you think? I mean, there's so many questions to ask here because this thing is just got levels and levels and levels. You know what I mean? Like, just tell me the first thing comes to the top of your head, and then I'll ask a couple more questions with this, because this is mind baffling to me.
You know, the quickest way to stop a revolution is to silence the leader by pacification. To put that another way, if somebody has the organization or the powers that be it by the short and curlies, let's just say for the sake of the centers, and all of a sudden they say, listen, if you just release your grip on the gonads, we'll give you this. They start to sound like Babyface. You'll get a job. We'll love your stuff. We'll give you bonuses. Just don't talk about here. And look what they're doing. So they pacified him. It's the same way with the kneeling thing. The NFL is masterful at making sure that they buy the Negroes in such a way that, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I know the suit is still happening, but yeah. No, bro.
Right, so let me ask you this, Talent. Does this by any way, and can this tarnish Tom Brady and Sean Payton's legacy? Because they didn't say anything about it. Like, nobody found out about this through Tom Brady. Nobody found out about this through Sean Payton. Sean Payton's won some Super Bowls. Tom Brady's won 7. He's got a Hall of Fame career. Sean Payton's got a Hall of Fame career. Neither one of them came forward. So I'm thinking, damn, like, this can obviously tarnish me. It could tarnish the way people look at you now, because you sat there and you approved of the initial tampering. You know, I mean, I don't, like I said, there's so many questions coming through my mind. What's your take on this, T?
Well, I think it's still, in their case, when you talk about Peyton and you talk about Manning, you're talking about too little, too late.
Brady.
Excuse me, Brady. You're talking about too little, too late. On that end of it, the whole weight of this is going to the NFL. And like Michael Sean said, we're stupid. They try to get you to look over here, not over there, because it's coming out the way it is, and they're in the late part of the stages of their careers. I think it's a little slight that you're willing to forget when it comes down to the marking the report card of a Brady or Peyton. However, the NFL as an organization doesn't have that luxury. Right. You know what I mean? As these players come and go, one thing remains and stays, and that's the league.
Right. So, Fig, does that mean that there's a lot more tampering going on, and we just don't know about it? And I mean, listen, Miami Dolphins offered Brian Flores like $100,000 to lose games, and he said it happens all the time. I mean, it's happening throughout the league. You know, tell me your thoughts. Like this
Listen,
makes
man,
the case,
right? What is the famous quote? If you're not cheating, then you're not trying to win. I mean, that's it. Everybody, listen. They got Belichick and the Patriots for cheating and filming other teams, whatever and stuff like that. The Deflate Gate, Brian Flores. Listen, this thing goes throughout the NFL and probably all the sports. It's probably not just the NFL. It's probably all sports. But here's the thing: the only people that get punished is the people that get caught. Let me just say this also. In the case of Deshaun Watson, I'm sure there's other players, athletes, doing stuff that is less than 100% above board, but they didn't get caught. So at the end of the day is whoever they decide to bring down is the person that they got the evidence on. And you become the face of whatever this problem is. Like Michael Vick. Like there are not dog fights going on today, or there wasn't long before Michael Vick was born.
Right.
But now he got caught. He's the face of dog fighting. That's the way it goes, and that's the 52 fake out. What Mike called it, the bait and switch. Look over here, but don't look over there.
So, Mike, let me ask you this: if you're Brian Flores right now, how are you feeling? And especially when you know you got a case pending against the NFL and the NFLPA is literally on your side, they're trying to help you. How are you feeling right now with your case against the NFL and on all the things that you said in all the interviews? And I mean, he said a lot of stuff, and everything he said so far is like check. He said check. You know what I mean? Go ahead. What's your take?
My thought is, first of all, I want to applaud him for being able to say, I don't want $100,000, which means financially he's been doing correctly with his money, what he needs to do. The whole thing with it, and I'm going to just rerun what everybody has said. The NFL is trying to hold their whole statue up. They're trying to hold the statue up right now. And when Fig brought up Tom Brady's the golden child. Tom Brady was part of a team that recorded people's practices before NFC Championship, AFC Championship games, and Super Bowls.
Facts.
And Roger Goodell destroyed the tapes, and we never got to see the tapes. Then we had the Deflategate. Now we got this. Like, they're stressed right now because they realize that things are starting to, because of social media and because of everything that gets shown to everybody now, things are starting to shrink. And you can't hide everything the way you normally hide everything. So this is why the NFL at this point is going to try and get at Deshaun Watson, and he's going to put a lawsuit against them. When Roger Goodell says, I want him to be out for a year, there's going to be another lawsuit.
Yep.
It's not going to stop anymore. There's too much information, but you got to realize the dudes that are running these leagues are in their 50s and their 60s. They don't get how small the world has gotten. Yeah. They don't understand how much we see immediately now. Like, everybody has got a hold on it. So we'll see what happens, but it's going to get worse after this. But we'll still watch the NFL this year.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this last question out to my man who's called the business bully. And you know what I'm going to ask you, man? I'm going to ask you the business ramifications of this, because at the end of the day, Brian Flores lost a lot of money. Yes, you know what I mean? By staying on this thing. He got fired. Now he got rehired by another NFL team. So overall, does the Shield take a hit? And overall, in your thoughts, do you think Brian Flores now looks like the golden child and is setting himself up to make even a ton more money? Because if the NFL doesn't rehire him in a head coaching position, now they're going to look like an ass, to be honest with you. I mean, there's so many, like I said, we can talk about just this one thing alone for an hour, but you get the last take on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a zero-sum game, Frank. I'm going to say this to you. The NFL will always be just fine as long as there are Negroes trying to buy their mama a house and make it about the hood. Okay? Yeah. The other part of that is Brian Flores is going to make money one way or the other, because if he doesn't get what he needs, right? There's a bunch of people who one pay for his story. So we're talking Gayle King interview 2020, TMZ, whom the
Don't
hell
do
ever
Gayle
else.
King. Don't do Gayle King. Don't do Gayle King.
No,
Don't do
you
Gayle
do.
King.
You do. If you do Gayle King, you're done. Like Gayle King needs to go to law school and just start prosecuting folks. She will get you in jail. The other part of that is
Robert.
I fight for my life, Frank. I ain't got a lot of time. Get sponsors. Anyway, the other thing is, Frank, and I want to talk about this really quickly because, God, what?
It's that glaucoma medicine.
It's not the glaucoma medicine. Deshaun Watson. Y'all don't even know this because you don't do enough on business. Y'all too busy writing jokes and getting on stages to pay attention to the business mind of Deshaun Watson. He just started a concert promotion business with Al Heyman. Were y'all aware of this?
No.
First concert is going to be crazy. It's called Rub Down 22, featuring Johnny Gill performing Rub You the Right Way, Change Your Faces, Stroke You Up, and Clarence Carter, I Be Stroking. Y'all need to go ahead and pay attention to the business. Everybody's going to be just fine, Frank.
Wait. No thong song?
No.
We comedians thinking about too many jokes.
I'm trying to tell you at the same time. All right, so my man T. I'm gonna throw this one to you because we also mentioned, like, everybody's talking about Deshaun Watson. We threw this out there yesterday.
The man got upset. Y'all busy writing jokes.
I fight for my life,
I'm clearing up these ledgers. Wrong with you?
So we talked about Deshaun. We talked about Jacoby Brissett and everything else. I'm gonna ask you this, T. How does Deshaun Watson, who's faced 24 lawsuits, obviously for misconduct in therapy sessions, get suspended only 6 games? Cardinals wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins got suspended 6 games for trace amounts of PED when he claims he didn't know he ingested it. And Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley gets suspended a whole season for making $1,500 parlay wagers. How's that happen? How does the NFL make us look?
But Frank, it's not the NFL that gave him that. It was the judge that gave him that. Just I apologize.
You're right. It's the judge.
And here's the thing, though. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who handed it down. One thing has definitive, factual evidence, open and shut. The other thing is he said, she said, not open and shut. Like the lady said, the judge herself said in her statement, there was not enough evidence for me to suspend this guy indefinitely because they just didn't have enough evidence. You can't go in there. And here's my thing, Frank. I think, and this is by no mistake, the fact that we got to the point of all these settlements and dropping the case of 99% of everybody complaining right before we get handed down what that suspension will be tells everything. That tells everything to me. You cannot go to the police station. If you walk in the police station, Frank, and turn back around and leave out, them charges ain't getting pressed.
That's right. Fig, if you're DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tom Brady, I could go on with a couple more players, but if you're those players, are you thinking it's fair?
No, well, here's the thing: I think it's like what Mike said. All of those suspensions or whatever the punishment that all of those guys received was by the NFL and Roger Goodell. The Players Association said, listen, Roger Goodell has way too much power, and to wield that power, he does it with a heavy hand, and it's an overreach. So they got together and decided that they would have an arbitrator. That's where this judge comes in. This is her absolute first case. And then going back to what Talent said, those other guys, they got caught red-handed with the evidence. This case about Deshaun Watson is really just about allegations. There is no proof. 2 grand juries threw the case out because there wasn't enough evidence to prosecute. So then you go to civil court where I just want money now. Now, 23 of the women have been paid. 23 out of 24 have been paid. There's one left. This woman hands down a sentence of 6 games, and now everybody is up in arms. Well, there's no evidence to the contrary. So what are you going to do? What do you really want from this guy? He's not going to jail. He doesn't have to pay any money. He's already done that to 23 out of the 24 women. So what is the end game? Just to have him miss games for the sake of missing games? Like, I don't understand what the point is.
All right, Michael Sean, let me ask you this. There are a lot of NFL players who are looking at this. The NFLPA is looking at this and everything else. They're trying to figure it out. Do you think, in your opinion, do you think the NFL is going to push back? Because they have up until Thursday to push back. You think they're going to push back with this finding?
Yeah, they're going to push back. And I'm going to tell you why. And I know everybody's going to get mad at me. What they're saying is wrong. There was evidence. What she said in the statement was, because the NFL has been so inconsistent on how they give out the punishments, I cannot give him a year. She blamed it on Roger Goodell being inconsistent on the punishments that were being given out. She was like, he's a predator. Like in the statement, she says he is an aggressive predator. So it's not that she didn't have the evidence, it's that she followed the letter of the law, which I give her super credit for. Mm-hmm. She followed the letter and said, you guys, Roger Goodell, have been inconsistent on how you guys will suspend somebody for 4 games for this, 6 games for this, an entire season for this. And she basically called Roger Goodell the hell out. And that's why she was like, I ain't got nothing to do with this. Y'all done effed up. Y'all been effing up for a minute. And now y'all want to put me in here and make somebody lose a year's work because you guys have been inconsistent. That's why. There was evidence to suspend him for longer. But she was like, I'm not going to do it. Y'all been doing this for years.
You're hitting the nail right on the head. So that brings up to my final point, the business bully. My final point on this topic before we move on. Mm-hmm. Does this tarnish Roger Goodell's legacy as the NFL commissioner and the way he handles it if he doesn't push back? Or does it make him look good if he does push back and he decides to add more games on this?
Frank, can you hear me okay? Is this mic on? Just want to make sure. Okay, good. So am I the only person who realized that Roger Goodell was appointed to that position and that Roger Goodell acts as the bad guy? Like, some of us have had agents, managers who we tell them, yo, you make sure this promoter gets me my mother effing money no matter what, right? And then the manager will go and say, listen, talent needs his money. You understand me? Talent needs his money. And be like, all right, cool. We don't want no problem. You go to talent sitting at the bar with a Heineken talking, yo, I don't know why he's tripping like that, man. But you know, y'all work that out. It's all good. It allows the owners to look like they got plausible deniability. Roger Goodell does not do anything to punish anybody in the NFL who owns a team. This is all a hustle. So what legacy are we talking about when the position is made up as the commissioner of the WWF?
Great point. Fig, you want to say something else?
Yeah, here's the last thing, man, and make it very brief. If the NFL and Roger Goodell usurp this woman's authority, then it makes her insignificant, because at the end of the day, the only reason that she was put in place is to be like the mediator, if you will, between the NFL Players Association and Roger Goodell and the NFL. If they can usurp her power, then it makes her insignificant, because, like, why is she even there? If she's going to bring down a ruling, you're going to override it, then why is she there in the first place? Just go on and give the punishment that you want from the very beginning. If you got that kind of power, then do what it is that you always do and overreach.
All right. But the dumbass players agreed that he can overrule her.
Yeah.
They agreed that after they do this, they bring a judge in, and Roger Goodell didn't think she wasn't going to give what he wanted her to give, but they agreed that he can overrule her and actually change the punishment.
All right, so he made a great point, but let's move on, because I got a lot more of the topics I want to talk about. I want to come back to the NFL, but I want to throw this out there to the NBA, because there's a couple things happening in the NBA. And actually, before I even get to the NBA stuff, you know, of the points, I gave you guys a little bit of homework. T, you ready for this? I asked you guys to give me your 4 best NBA playoff series and why. I don't know if you did yours 4 best T. You do yours 4 best T already?
Absolutely.
So the reason why I did this is the reason why I asked this is because obviously we're trying to figure out some ways to kill some time and everything else. But most importantly is we
Kill some time.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You know.
kill some time. But most importantly is because I want to be able to find out if we're going to all agree what the 4 best NBA series are in playoff series. So you guys tell me who your 4 best playoff series that you saw ever lifetime. And T, you get to go first.
Well, first of all, with mine, all 4 of mine end up in the finals. Because, in the perfect world, that's the way things should build up. To me, I hate when you get one of those series that's dumb good and round 1 and the rest of the playoffs suck. So the ones that stand out to me is first and foremost at the top of my list got to be my New York Knicks. When they went to the finals, they were the 8th seed and fought all the way up from the 8th seed and made it to the finals. Of course, the big homie got hurt, and you got Spree and Allen Houston, dynamic duo. Time. All of them. We had a nice little team. You know what I mean? We was on our 90s age doing our thing. So that was number 1 for me. Number 2, I got to give it to the Utah Jazz. It was at the height of your fandom that you really wanted to see John Stockton and Karl Malone get the chip, and it seemed like they were right there knocking on their door to make it happen. And of course, we all know the repeated replay of Jordan busting Russell's ass and making that shot and sealing the deal. But that goes right up there, number 2. Number 3 and 4 are the same 2 teams that matched off in the finals. The Boston Celtics and the Lakers. Now, one time when the Boston, same reason, you want some great players to get a chip. So KG and all those guys, Ray Allen and them, go to the Boston Celtics. And they get to play they make it to play the Lakers. And the ass whooping in one particular game, 39-point lead, 39-point lead, 5 minutes of change left, and Phil Jackson calls a timeout. And it became one of my best jokes for about a whole year straight of, what the hell are you talking about in a timeout with 5 minutes down 30? Wait, you timeout, you're going to huddle. Anybody know where the exit is, the closest exit? What the hell are you talking about in that timeout? So KG got his chip. Felt real great about that one. And another Lakers-Boston matchup in the finals. Obviously, Magic Johnson's first year in the league. You got the MVP. Kareem went down, and Magic had to finish out the series, got the MVP. And I think it was the most significant in my watching the NBA for the simple fact that even though he won a chip coming into the league, the powers that be was still trying to whitewash him out with Larry Bird.
I just got to say one thing, talent.
And it wasn't going to happen. Yeah.
One thing, talent. And when he won that MVP,
Sixers.
There you go, Sixers.
But I'm just saying, like, that was the significant why, is because that whole season and beyond, they were trying to whitewash Magic Johnson out, and what they succumbed to, the compromise, was we're going to give the league to both these guys because they wanted it to be Larry.
So I'm going to ask you, Fig, give me your 4.
Yes, sir.
You go ahead.
Very simple, man. I thought talent had hit on a couple of mine, but listen, let me start off with my team, the New York Knicks. It's significant to me because we actually won. It goes way back into 1970 when Willis Reed came out of the tunnel and onto the floor. It was tied 3-3 with the Lakers. Willis Reed goes down. He comes out in Game 7 at the Garden. He gives the team a lot of energy, a lot of courage and stuff like that. And he never plays, but he's just out there. And the Knicks go on to win their first championship with Clyde Frazier and the boys, man. That was big time, man, because of the energy in the Garden. Number 2 for me is Philadelphia against the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
That's when Dr. J gets his first NBA championship. And when they playing against the Lakers, one of the most iconic dunks in that championship is when Dr. J is coming down by the baseline with Cooper on him on a fast break, and he rocks and then does a windmill. He rocks the cradle, does a windmill, bow, dunks on Cooper. They go on to win that championship. Philadelphia, Dr. J.
I hate to be a hater. I hate to be a hater, but that wasn't a playoff game.
That's a championship.
Yes, it was.
That was a championship. That was a final.
That was on Spectrum TV when he did their Rock the Cradle. But I ain't gonna argue. Because I can.
That was a finals game.
That wasn't. He didn't do that. He did that during the week, and it was on Spectrum TV.
Go ahead, Fig. I saw it.
Sorry, Fig. Sorry, my bad.
We'll get a point later. Another one is the Celtics against the Lakers. The first, I don't know if y'all know when Larry and Magic first got in. Magic got the first one. Beating the Sixers when he played center. But the next one, Larry Bird and the Celtics beat him. Magic Johnson blows two free throws. They call him Tragic Johnson. The very next year, they come back. They beat the Celtics. Magic Johnson finally gets his, championship against Larry Bird. That was big because that whole dichotomy. If you're not well, listen, it was a big thing between Magic and Larry Bird, And last but not least, Golden State Warriors against the Cleveland Cavaliers when they finally get Kevin Durant. This is the next time that you get to see Kevin Durant and LeBron James go mano a mano. Now, the first time, Kevin Durant and the boys, they were puppies. They were young in the league. And LeBron James had suited up with Dwayne Wade. He had a squad. He beat him down. Kevin Durant is crying in the tunnel on his mom's shoulder. So he finally gets a chance to go up against, the two best players in the NBA. KD is knocking down the three-pointer, and he gets to finally win his championship over LeBron James. Those are my 4 iconic moments.
Next time, Fig, I'm gonna give you a 15-minute timer. I'm just playing. I'm gonna give you a timer. Michael Sean.
All right, let's get it. Sacramento Kings and the LA Lakers. Sacramento is about to close the Lakers out. Chris Webber, Vladdy's in there. They're doing what they got to do. They got like a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. And, all right. Did the refs help? Yeah, they did. But Robert Horry, Vladdy does exactly what he saw Magic do in a playoff game. He sees the rebound, and like Magic did, he taps it. So he wants to smack it away so that the time runs out. Unfortunately, he didn't do it correctly. Robert Horry hits the three-pointer. Bam. Everybody goes crazy. It goes down. Golden State beating the Dallas Mavericks with Steven Jackson, and when Byron Davis decided to destroy, what's his name, killed him and won that series. And then you got Denver beating the Seattle Supersonics. That's when when Mutombo held the ball and was like, pause. Let me say pause because I shouldn't do this. Let me say pause, right? And my number one, I wish Rodney Perry was here. Cleveland down 3-1. And Klay Thompson says LeBron James is in his feelings at a press conference. And LeBron goes and just laughs. They wind up coming back. LeBron does the legendary block shot on Iguodala. And then Kyrie Irving shoots that three-pointer in Steph Curry's eye. And those are my Mount Rushmore NBA playoff. Yes.
Okay, those are your 4. Those different 4 too. I like see all of us look at things different. The business bully. Give me your 4.
All right. When I was a kid, man, I was excited. My very first, like the playoff I can remember, was the Sixers versus the Celtics, and we was up like 3-1. And that thing was crazy. And then the Celtics beat the living breaks off us. I don't know what happened.
Game 6.
But the doctor's prescription just was not being recognized at Rite Aid or Dwayne Reed. So at that point, it was a wrap. 2016, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Golden State Warriors. That series did KD so bad. KD like, hey, is y'all hiring? Hello? Yo, call me back. I promise. I'm gonna get a comb. I'm gonna get a comb. I got y'all. Let's see. Shoot. When I was like 9-10 years old, the Pistons versus the Celtics. When Bird got ejected.
That's 87.
Yeah, 87. So I was like 9-10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. And finally, all right. Do you remember year 2000, the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Lakers? Kobe and Shaq was just putting on a show. It was alley-oops all over the place. Like it was absolutely insane. Like to me, that was the one that really started making them, you know, that my generation's era of a dynasty. Kobe and Shaq going crazy with it. So I that's 4, right?
All right, well, so that's your 4. So now since I got your thinking caps on, T, I'm gonna ask you another question, and I didn't want you guys to prepare for this one. So if you had to name which franchise right now with their current roster right now, which team did you think could become an iconic franchise that has their current roster right now? You know what I mean? Like a Lakers or like a Celtics. Which team right now you got? And I don't care about Mike's mumbling, but you had to say like.
I wasn't mumbling. I just oh God, I didn't mumble.
He said, "Let me be clear. I'm disgusted."
I was just saying that's a good question. That was really a compliment when I said, "Oh God, that's a compliment."
Oh, it didn't sound like it, but okay. I'll take you.
Well,
which team?
I would have to go with Milwaukee.
Really?
I would have to go with Milwaukee. Yeah, for 2 reasons. You gotta factor in how good they are now, but you also got to take in consideration how old these players are and how many years they can do what they're doing right now. So when I look at some of these teams, some are too young and don't have enough integral parts. But when you look at Milwaukee, they're strong enough and young enough at the same time to give you, let's just say they could win 2-3 more and become the new Golden State, if you will. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a good one.
Okay. Fig, the question for you is, which NBA team could become the next iconic franchise with their current roster and why? Because I know you give me a why and why.
Absolutely. The
Start
Memphis
the clock, Frank. 15 minutes. Go ahead.
Be quiet. Go ahead.
Memphis Grizzlies. Because of
That
all
was
those
my
boys.
team. Go ahead, Fig.
All those boys are young and they all ball out right now. So I think they're coming. All those guys are in the prime. Well, either in the prime or just getting to their prime. So it seems like they're going to grow together. You know what I mean? And right now, as they stand pat, I think they have the best chance to possibly become a dynasty because they got everything. They got inside, outside, mid-range. They got a decent point guard, shooters. They got everything.
Yeah, they sure do. But the reason why I love the NBA so much is because it could be a lot of teams. So let me see what team that Mike Sean think now. Put your thinking cap on, Mike. Which NBA team can become the next iconic, that's the key word here, iconic franchise with their current roster?
In honor of Rodney Perry, who is not here, the Seattle Mariners. No, I wasn't playing.
Wait, what? I'm like, am I that high?
Honestly, with the progression of what happened this year, I don't want to say this because Frank just killed me for saying he said I was mumbling. I think it's the Boston Celtics. I really think that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, the young guy who had the knee injury, I can't believe I forgot his name. Williams. I honestly think that team that experience that they had against Golden State in the NBA Finals this year is going to transcend them into they're ready for everybody.
Right.
They've experienced everything now. So I think the Boston Celtics, as long as nobody messes it up and decides we're going to break up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and trade them for whoever, that team, I think, is a team that could wind up being iconic with, and Frank, once again, I will repeat what you said, one point guard. Not an incredible point guard, just a point guard that runs the team. Just a point guard that literally runs everything, that in the fourth quarter knows exactly what sets to get into. It knows exactly what to do. Boston.
Yeah. I could definitely agree with that one. All right, so now I'm gonna do some rapid fire because we got so many more other questions right here that I wanted to get through, man. And I had a couple more other, Mount Rushmore questions, but I'm not gonna be able to get to those, so I'll save them for tomorrow. But talent, I'm gonna ask you this: what looks like the Lakers are gonna possibly go up and try to get Julius Randle from New York if the Knicks land Donovan Mitchell. That's the topic right now. Everybody's talking about right now, coming out of LA. So I'm going to ask you, T, if that happens, do you think the Lakers would be better off with Julius Randle or worse off with Julius Randle? What's your take?
Well, come on, man. Let's call a spade a spade. Lakers can't get worse. They had to gut the whole damn LA to get worse. Anybody with any type of significant additive to the Lakers make them better. So yeah, they will get better with a Randle. Obviously, from the rumors we're hearing, certain people like Carmelo and a couple other guys are not returning to the Lakers. They're looking up elsewhere for other contracts. So yeah, if you're able to get Julius Randle, that's a good look for the Lakers. I mean, I'm not like Mike and a couple other New York fans. They don't like him no more.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I didn't say.
All right, okay, all right. I'll leave that for your pick. But Fig, if the Knicks get caught tampering and they have any other issues, and the Knicks don't get Donovan Mitchell, do you think the Lakers still land Julius Randle?
I don't know how they can land Julius Randle. Julius Randle's under contract.
Trade.
So I don't even know it. Huh?
Right now, the discussion is the trade would be the trade off if in a three-team trade, if Kyrie goes to Team A and Donovan Mitchell goes to New York, Julius Randle lands in the Lakers in a three-team trade. That's okay.
I think the Lakers get better because listen, believe it or not, Julius Randle, I think he's a really good player, and to be honest with you, I think he's a number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just who he would be on the Los Angeles Lakers. He could do a lot of damage if you can't double team him and you're able to put him in the right position to play at his best. But in New York, they were playing him as a number 1 because at the time he was the best player on our team. So as a number 3 in Los Angeles market, I think the Lakers become a lot better. And I think Julius Randle gets to shine even more than he did in New York.
Right. But Mike, here's the problem. The Lakers are having a problem pulling these trades off to get because of the contract flaws with Ben Simmons sitting there. So do the Lakers, if Donovan Mitchell does go to the Knicks and the Lakers can't land Julius Randle, do you think the Lakers then take Ben Simmons?
Damn.
Because Ben Simmons is holding up a lot of issues with the Nets to be able to
honestly, Ben Simmons. I mean, Russell Westbrook can't shoot either, but Ben Simmons. At least Ben Simmons athletically can guard your swing man, can help with rebounding and stuff like that. I heard that the Julius Randle trade is going to be held up because the Lakers wanted 2 chicks from Sue's Rendezvous. But anyway, that's a whole nother New York story.
Hey!
It's a whole nother story. I'm sorry if you're not from New York and you don't know
You don't get that
what Sue's Rendezvous is. But I think LeBron could really help Ben Simmons because I think he would take the pressure off of him because he knows he's no longer not star number 1, not star number 2, right. And he can just focus and he doesn't have to have the anxiety of trying. Nobody's worrying about you shooting, homie. Just cover the guy that LeBron would normally have to cover. You cover him. You help with the rebounding and tip balls and loose balls and all that. I said balls twice. Next person. Never mind. Go ahead.
My man, the business bully, because of the person in play right here is literally Ben Simmons, the conversation we're talking about. Does that mean, do you think the Brooklyn Nets are going to lose Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving? Or do you think the Brooklyn Nets are going to be able to keep one of the two?
Well, I mean, I think the 76ers will be just fine without Ben Simmons. And you know what? I think the problem when Michael Shorn and other folks start talking about Russell Westbrook in comparison to a Ben Simmons, at least, even though Russell Westbrook is hot trash truck juice, dress notwithstanding, at least he actually attempts to shoot the ball. Yeah. I have not seen High Yellow Dumbo attempt to shoot anything.
Jesus.
Wow.
Goodness
Wow,
God.
you're killing them.
Damn.
You're killing them. Y'all got your thinking caps on because now we're gonna keep this thing rolling, man. T, you up first, man. We
Sorry,
moving on
Ben.
to the NFL. We moving on to the NFL. T, you ready? You ready? Got your thinking cap on? All right.
Apologize.
Which black QB will not finish his career with their current team? You got Kyler Murray, you got Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, or Jordan Love. The question again is which black QB will not finish his career with the current team? They may get traded, they may wait, they may not get the deal they want. You know, like what happened with Russell Wilson. Which QB out of those ones I mentioned you think is going to happen to him? And if it's more than one, say it. Right?
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say the same thing.
All of those Negroes will be on another team for it's all said and done. The only one most to stay with his franchise through the duration of his career is Mahomes. Everybody else, please.
Is that because Mahomes works in the house, talent?
No,
Don't
that's
say
because
that.
he signed a contract for 20 years.
For 20 years, and he won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Fig,
So,
I'm gonna ask you the same
everybody,
question, bro. You get the four. You get the four. I mean, you get the question. Like, which black QB will not finish his career with their current team? You got Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Jordan Love.
Well, Kyler Murray will probably get traded. I think Jordan Love is going to retire before he ever gets to play a game. He's been there like 6 years, right? He's going to get an injury where he's going to need a proctologist from sitting on his behind for like 20 years. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. They picked this dude in the first round and we ain't seen him. How long has it been really? Is it at least 4 or 5 years, right? He's been
I think it's been three. It's been three.
Yeah, man, this kid has been there forever. Aaron Rodgers don't look like he has any decline, like he's going anywhere. So I think they might end up getting rid of this kid and maybe getting Aaron Rodgers a little more help before we even get an opportunity to see him play. And Kyler Murray, even though they gave him a contract, this might be his last year, man, because if he doesn't produce with the team that he has around him, they might try and get rid of him. It's kind of crazy.
I think you're right with that. But you know what the funny thing is a couple of guys on it like Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. You got to sit there and say, Jesus, these dudes don't perform either. They could be gone too. But I'm gonna ask you the business bullet. Is it your turn? Whatever. You're gonna go next. I'll get you, and then I get to Mike. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Jordan Love. Which one of these QBs who are all black quarterbacks and not going to finish out their prospective career with the team they're on right now?
Frank, have you ever been to Philadelphia?
Of course. Got family there.
All right, okay. Do you already know we're going to mess this up? Jalen Hurts is out of here. Not right away. Maybe after a couple seasons. We had Randall Cunningham, and you know what happened? He went to the Minnesota Vikings. And you know what happened? They went to the playoffs. Like, I'm trying to understand why we don't get this. We will make sure a black quarterback goes. We broke Donovan McNabb so bad. He was like, please, whatever you do, just send me to the Redskins. Like, bro, no. Jalen Hurts, no, there's no way he's going to retire an Eagle. I got money on it. And I don't need an over-under from telling you.
Yeah, you don't need the over. Okay. Michael Sean, you heard the names. Who you got on that list? Or are you going to stick with all of them?
No, all of them is really funny because, dog, Warren Moon got traded. So, like, it's really tough for quarterbacks. I think Lamar Jackson has the best chance. He has the best chance because I think he has Baltimore where they made their whole offense based on him. Now, Jordan Love is going to be the MVP of the Spades tournaments because he's not going to be on that team.
Wow.
Other than that, Jalen Hurts after this year, if he doesn't win a playoff game, is going to get traded. Yeah, everybody else. Lamar Jackson.
I got 4 in a possible.
A 4 in a possible. Yeah, exactly. I got 4. I got 1. And a possible 4 that get traded, but I don't know what you want. But Justin Fields, I think, does have a shot. I think he has a shot that if he has a good year this year, I think if he takes Chicago to the playoffs this year, I think he may have a shot to stay there for at least 5 years. But at the end of the day, everybody else is going to wind up going.
All right, so I'm gonna leave it. See the time. I think I get this one last question, and then I'm gonna start with you, T. The Cowboys Are the Cowboys really America's team? Because right now the Cowboys are valued at $7.64 billion. They just lost a wide receiver again, who's out 6 to 10 weeks, James Washington. They don't have the wide receivers they had. Like right now, people are sitting there saying they're not America's team. I'm going to ask you right now, Talent, and I'm going to ask everybody, do you guys think that the Cowboys really are the most prestigious and are America's team? T, you get this question. You got it.
Well, T got light skin. That's a light skin.
Don't take none of this
No
to the
offense.
heart.
First of all, Frank, Dallas Cowboys ain't been America's team in a very long time. You know, it's been a long time since we could, if you want to put it into technical terms. However, money talks and BS walks. So because they are, if you will, the Yankees of football,
Right.
you know, money-wise, franchise-wise, in the big state of Texas, they're always going to be America's team. You know, they coined the phrase, so in that sense they are. But in talent-wise, and like, if the rest of the world countries got mad and said, "We coming to America and we challenge you, give us America's team," we ain't sending Dallas. Whoever lose get hit with a nuke. We are not sending Dallas.
We gonna send Tampa Bay. We gonna send Tampa Bay over.
Calling Tom Brady.
We gonna cheat like we do in the Olympics and put together a dream team.
A dream team.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Because
That was a
Nancy
good one.
Pelosi just flew over to Taiwan, caused all this beef with China. So what if China just wake up tomorrow? You know what? This is how we gonna handle this. I got 20 other countries. We coming to America. We're gonna tear your ass up in football. Let's go. Where's America's team? I guarantee you. Got Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. They not sending that.
I wouldn't either. Fig.
Yo, they sending a black guy. They sending Patrick Mahomes out there first.
They're gonna dig up John Madden and go, what do you think we should say?
Fig,
The
like I said,
all-Madden team.
we talk about the Cowboys right now. They've been valued at $7.64 billion. They're coming into a year where they literally CeeDee Lamb is their only wide receiver they had from last season. It just doesn't seem like on paper that they're America's team. What you think, Fig?
Here's the thing: the Dallas Cowboys are the most popular team
Yeah.
in the NFL. That's it. Dallas, when you think about all the circus, the Universe Soul, and this one over here, Dallas is Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus. Except the clowns are fat and the elephants are skinny. You understand what I'm saying? America is supposed to be about winning. Dallas hasn't won anything. We're supposed to be proud of winners. If you want to talk about winners, just throw Tom Brady out there. I mean, Dallas don't even know how to cheat. That's the problem. That's why he can't win, because they don't know how to cheat. You got to know how to cheat if you want to win something. And the players that Jerry Jones throws out there. Oh, Jerry.
Michael Sean.
Oh, Jerry. What?
Get your take on this, bro.
Everybody's made a good argument, and we're all haters, and we all want to hate. Fact of the matter is, America's team is the Talent made a great argument. Like Talent, if he was on Law and Order, he would have won. But fact of the matter is, the ratings will tell you, America's team is the Dallas Cowboys. I hate them. But you know what? In a Super Bowl, if the Cowboys had ever played the Patriots in a Super Bowl, they would have broke records.
Yeah.
They would have smashed every rating. They would have been 50 million people. They would have had a hologram of Whitney Houston singing the national anthem. Dog. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I know Fig left the Giants. I'm a Giant fan. In actuality, when I see a Cowboy game, I'm like happy because I can't stand him so much that I'm going to sit there and watch this game because I'm rooting against, I don't care if it's the Atlanta Falcons. I'm rooting so hard against these cats. It's ridiculous. They're America's team. It's propaganda. It's marketing. It's Jerry Jones. He's a horrible GM, but he's an amazing marketer. And if you've ever gone to that stadium, I've gone to the Superdome to watch a game. I've gone to the Meadowlands to watch a game. I've gone to Philly to watch a game. I've never experienced what I experienced when I went to Dallas to AT&T Stadium. It's something different, dog.
Yeah,
they're the evil empire for real, and the Yankees are second because there was nothing like going to old Yankee Stadium to go see the Yankees. Old Yankee Stadium was something amazing to go see, and I'm a Mets fan.
So, Business Bully, bring us home, man. Talk to me. Do you think that Dallas should be still America's team? What's your take?
First and foremost, Frank, I have to agree with everything Michael Sean says. The thing about that stadium, right, is they have the VIP skyboxes on the field. Let's just start debating at that. Secondly, as long as Jerry Jones says that the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, how are you going to argue? What did Kanye famously say to Sway? You ain't got the answer, Sway. You ain't been doing the education. Now, on top of that, it is not about wins and losses. I know that you sports fans tend to think that wins and losses matter. It don't. The merch matters. The season tickets matter. There is a waiting list 3 years long to get nosebleed season tickets for the Dallas Cowboys. There's no one's ever saying, "Oh man, I'm just trying so hard to get a hold of Eagles season tickets." It's not hard at all. Cowboys, you have to know somebody who knows somebody. The Dallas Cowboys is America's team because let's face it, you have never watched a reality show for the Arizona Cardinals cheerleader tryouts, but you watched it for 7 seasons running for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
That is true.
If that is not America's team, I don't know what is. Not to mention America is the home of capitalism. Capitalism is Jerry Jones. Thanks for coming.
That's a bad comparison. Don't do that. Don't do that. That was before free porn. Don't do that.
You're right, Tim.
No, that was. Yeah, no, you got a point there. Yeah, Pornhub changed all that. But I will say this: in the most racist country in America, the most racist country in the world, of course, I'm saying the most racist country in America.
Texas is a country.
The most racist country in the world, of course, the Cowboys. Like Jerry Jones voted for Donald Trump, and his majority of fans that really rock with him are Mexican.
That's a great point.
Who pulls that off?
That's an excellent point. So question for tomorrow. I'm going to ask you guys tomorrow for the answers. I'm going to be if we had to pick 4 other franchises that could be America's team. 4, not 1, not 2. If you had to pick 4, who could those 4 other teams be? And you guys tell me why for America's team. I'm going to start up tomorrow's show with that. Plus, I got a couple other Mount Rushmore questions I want to ask you because y'all know I'm putting my brain to this. And yeah, I'm trying to kill time. Like y'all thought it was hilarious for me to say that. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to come up
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. You're never supposed to admit that, right? Like.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't even care anymore.
We're never getting picked up. We're never getting picked up.
Like, I don't care anymore. That's it.
Mad. I'm just mad about the whole thing. I'm
just trying to kill time. What's your favorite brownie? What?
That's hilarious.
Salted caramel, Mike.
Can you imagine you like live with your mother and you wait for her to leave the house or you're on a date and you like, try to kill her. Let's get another drink, kill her time my mother's still in the house. You can't say it. You know it, but you can't say it.
You just killed the whole movie.
The clock. A little time.
Yeah, you know what? And on the flip side of that, when your mother does come in the room and you admit it, you go, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, I got it."
We try to kill time. Can somebody spell Steinbrenner? What?
No, that's
Money.
I will say for the Freudian slip I did there, you know what?
Oh, that's hilarious. At least it was funny, though.
How to follow you, huh?
I said at least it was funny though. You know what I mean? You can follow me on social media tonight and tomorrow night. If you are in the New York area, we in the Bronx, South Fuego. Well, tonight's sold out. Still got tickets available for tomorrow, the New York Kings comedy tour, and then we take our talents out to Orlando for Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th. Go to popcornsandjokes.com. Get your tickets.
My man, Fig, talk to me.
I got a deal on barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna buy some meat to put it on. You follow me on social media. Yes.
Why you wait to the very last second of the show to say
boneless ribs?
Boneless, just
That comedian thing also should be their platform.
Oh my
Dave,
God.
talk to me.
Yeah, Detroit Real Estate Week this weekend. Make sure that you go to DetroitRealEstateWeekend.com. Also, make sure that you come out to Caroline's August 23rd. Box Seats Live. I will be bum rushing the show with a chicken wing in my mouth, and I'm wearing a brand new outfit. And listen, I already picked out my shoes. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh, wow.
Mike Sean, you get the last word. Last word.
Real quick at Mike Sean Comedy. Talent. I hate knowing people. So you got a show in St. Louis coming up?
Yes. For the Shriners.
Okay, I need 2
Hey,
tickets.
shout out to the Shriners.
I need 2 tickets for a person that's like a sister to me. So please don't try and holler at her. It's like sister to me. Like so that's all I need.
So then
That's
I
all.
should
At
be
Mike
able to
Sean.
holler.
No, you shouldn't.
She's a
'cause
sister to you.
Yes, but that's
Talent.
but you're a disgusting person. You're just
No meat.
It's kind of true.
Yo, it's like a vegetarian barbecue. No meat.
Hold on. Can we get an opinion on that? If he says to be Talent, she's like a sister to me, right?
So treat her like a sister, like she's my sister.
But we've known you for over 3 decades, bro. We know how you get down.
Can I go now? The button.
No, because Talent is not.
Treat her like she.